what do you think about AI in law and how it should maybe regulate it? It's a bit broad, maybe the question, or how do you interpret this question?
Yeah, like we have to like have a legal like limits on AI, which Europe is doing. That's typical Europe fashion. They're just like strolling behind because you have like the EU AI Pact or AI Act or whatever, and so they were trying to make this like definitions and like what can and what can't we do and stuff like I don't know what like just a legal definition. And then before they announced it or before they published it, ChatGPT came and everything was outdated, so they had to start again. And I feel like the way this is progressing, that's a common occurrence. That like they'll just like walk behind or like run behind the after the fact him.
Yeah.
I don't know how you say it.
Yeah, the facts.
And so I don't know how to keep up, because like laws, I know nothing about laws, but they take a lot of time. They before everything gets approved with like the how do you say it, like the administrative nightmare and
Yeah.
like I don't know how it can keep up with.
By the way, did you have a pizza?
No, I was heating up the oven, but I didn't
Forget. No, it's okay.
I'll do it
So I think for me, maybe she clarified it a bit. More specifically related to artists and plagiarism and books. That's a good one. I think that's very difficult because even like with persons, it can be like plagiarism. I've heard about AI mimicking famous persons and like distributing videos about famous persons doing certain stuff to people.
So that's first topic, like
I think,
fake news, right?
Yeah, also like kind of porn related, I would say.
Yeah, but that's still in concept of fake news, like doing as if you're someone else, doing as if someone else is doing something, saying something,
impersonating. Definitely there have to be some laws there, but I'm not sure how like deepfakes are a thing for a long time already, right? Like
yeah, but
I remember Donald Trump deepfakes about I don't know, saying stupid shit like he always does, but even more stupid.
I know, but like I'm like, what can you do about it? Like, what if you write a law like don't do this? Like it's so easy to just like let it generate, which for example was a big problem in this I don't know how it's called. It's also from OpenAI, the AI that makes images, right? The first thing people did when it was like unfiltered, like released unfiltered, was make child porn from it because it can generate anything. It can also generate fucked up stuff. Like
okay, I'm gonna put this out there, but would you not rather have fake child porn than actually child porn?
I think
it's kind of weird to say it, but
yeah,
because you said this, I came to this conclusion.
I'm against it, fake or real, and I think we should not talk about this, especially when you don't want to get cancelled on YouTube.
No, but it's a real topic. Like,
yeah, like
I think for people that are not well in the mind, I would say, I would rather let them use fake things than real things.
No, but
because in the real thing, a real human gets involved. Or a real child gets involved.
Yeah, I know, but the fake thing is still feeding their fetish, and after a while they won't get satisfied with it.
It's like a prostitute, maybe, in that sense, for me. Like, it's not a real thing, but it keeps the weirdos away from doing more stuff.
Yeah, no, because like that's like feeding people that are doing something illegal by doing something like, oh, but this is better because you're not hurting someone. I think that's wrong.
But you also have to be like critical and honest with yourself. These people do exist, and we're not really fixing it. You know,
like I'm not shrink.
How are you gonna fix it?
I'm not shrink. But do you think that feeding their addiction or feeding their fucked up thing is gonna help it? Like,
I would rather have them on something virtually than something real.
Well, if that's the only two options, yeah, like.
No,
we do not
I don't say it's the only two options, but I would say these ones are more realistic for the near future.
Yeah, but I still don't think we should be we should be like allowing these people to do fucked up kind of shits. Like it should be, and yeah, I don't know, like do you have to just make it a taboo and shun them? And I don't know how to handle it. It's like
But that does not help.
I know that does not help, but I think
Making something
I
taboo
think
is one of
allowing
the
them to
worst.
do something like that is even worse than a taboo. I think to feed it, because then they'll get used to it. They'll feel like, oh, maybe I'm not so wrong. Maybe I should be allowed to do this, and then they go out in the world. You know,
But it,
I don't have a question and an answer, and I don't think this is very relevant to the thing.
no, it's true.
Because this is just like how
I know you're
time goes.
kind of on edge about these topics. But as I will end this topic
Yeah.
here, I just want to give you like the beginning. There was internet when the internet started, and people were, oh look, we can do everything. And at some point, it's got regulated. What did people do? They just made the dark web. And that's how I feel about a lot of these topics. Like, you can try to hide it, you can shame it, you can make it taboo, but that will not make them go away.
But then why have any laws? If you say like the moment you ban something,
No,
people
I
will
think
do
it should be illegal. Like, even like AI, child porn, I don't think we should tolerate it. But I don't also think, I think it's a better of the worst solution, you know, for me. But
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, like
we'll end it. Or do you want to have a
No.
closing statement
No,
on
no,
that?
it's like
Okay,
what's
so
like
for regulations
yeah,
part, maybe there have to be some clear rules. But how would we do it? Like, what is a practical way of implementing laws to catch AIs that are being used in a bad way? Like,
there is none. Like you can like the moment you make, because AI, like in general, that's before generative. Like detecting what was generated by an AI was pretty easy with an AI, but now the AIs are advancing so fast that the moment you have your AI ready, there's just another AI that fixes it, right? So I think it's like the same thing as when calculators were invented, that people at first said like, oh, you can't use it on an exam because that's cheating. But then like, okay, but everyone always will use a calculator everywhere that's needed. So why can't you just use it, right? It's I think it's more that we have to learn how to work with it, with it.
but let me just say that's a bit naive. No?
In what sense?
Expecting people to just use it for good.
And what's using it for bad? And like, what do you see as a
Yeah,
as a bad
like
way?
all the things we talked
Yeah,
about.
no, but yeah, that's on the like that's the provider of the AI has to do that, right? The provider of the AI does.
Anybody in theory can make an AI, no?
That's true. Anyone can make an AI, but
So
like
would stop
anyone can make a
that
bomb.
person from making.
Yeah, but anyone can make a bomb and explode a building, right? It's like it's not why like it should still be legal. That
No, I'm with you that it
like
should
anyone
be
can make a
regulated,
virus.
but first, I don't think we have a good way of how to regulate it.
Mhm.
Second, even if we have a manner of regulating it, there still will be people that will be doing it, and that's just how the world works. We cannot say everybody is gonna follow this rule or everybody is gonna use it for good.
No, I know, but I don't think regulations are there for 100% inclusivity. It's there for what's correct, what's normal, and okay, there will always be people that don't follow the law, and like I don't know what to do about that. That's
So I think a
just the
good
same as
one,
drugs.
maybe for this one, and I found it yesterday. It's kind of like an explainable AI. I don't know the terms where they come from, but I just found it with ChatGPT,
Mhm.
and those are AIs being designed to analyze and make sense of AI that we don't understand. So maybe these can be like kind of policing AIs, you know?
Yeah, but like I
AIs
think the
that can-
moment you police something, there will be just a smarter AI outsmarting them. Like it's just like
But
an arms race.
that's everywhere in life. That's even in biology, like wapenwedloop. It's a thing. Just if one species finds an advantage, then the other species will get suppressed, and it will come up with a new advantage that suppresses the other species again.
Yeah, so then like it just goes so fast that I think it's like I don't know.
But it's like it's maybe like an antivirus. We can maybe use it as an analogy.
yeah,
Your old antivirus will not catch the newest viruses, but it will still
catch the
block
old
a
ones,
lot
yeah.
of them, right?
Yeah.
So I
No,
think
that's true.
maybe that's one of the ways that we could manage the amount of bad AIs that would be around there.
And then, so that's like the bad stuff. But then, what about like good AI? So AI is doing nothing wrong, but just generating contents that would seem like not
Okay.
like plagiarizing, but like
Wait. Maybe I used the wrong term. I don't think we can say good or bad AIs, but because they just do what we ask at this point, like, right?
yeah. But like
So
AIs
good
that,
people or bad people.
no, but
making use of-
AI that are not possible, like that are not supposed to generate stuff that's racist or illegal or whatever.
Okay.
Like,
But just to be clear, the AI is not really the one doing the things.
yeah, I know. Okay, so
No,
but that's
but
one thing.
for the people.
Yeah,
around,
yeah, okay. Yeah.
No, but it's
I know,
difficult.
I know.
It's a nuanceation that I think is
But
important.
so that's one thing. That's like illegal stuff. But then what about the non-illegal stuff? That's still like plagiarizing, like writing, like a student that just like, oh, I need to write an essay, tick tick tick, enter, and there's an entire essay. Like, is that like what can we do about that?
In a sense, it's not plagiarism, right? Because
not
it's something
plagiarism.
new.
Yeah, it's something.
But I can see a case where like you take art and but it's the same with NFTs, right? Like it's something branded or like this you cannot copy, but actually like everybody can copy an NFT. It's not unique, but the signature that's on the NFT
Yeah.
makes it unique.
Yeah, like I think
Do you see
blockchaining
yeah.
is a valid way to go in a lot of different things. But like blockchain has to start somewhere. If you're alone offline in your room and you have to make an essay and you just generate it with an AI and you start the blockchain with that, like there's no way it knows. You understand? Like no way it knows that you wrote it or you did. Right?
Maybe
So,
we can make maybe there is a possibility, but we have not yet discovered that for to link blockchain with AI output.
yeah, but like you said, like there will just be someone that just doesn't do that. That just doesn't
Yeah, but then
include
it's
the
not
blockchain stuff.
then it's not certified, you know?
Yeah, but like what? So then you cannot even copy paste stuff from online. Like you can just like there's no like
Where
with
is the
images and stuff.
where is
There's
the
blockchain in
threshold?
the image, but with texts you can never blockchain a text because it's like
Why not? You can make it as
because
an
you can
image
just
with text, no?
yeah, but you can just write it like over type it
With a
or
different font.
yeah, or just I don't know, read it and write it. You know, right? Like you can certify something that's written by an AI if you want it to be like, oh, this is my stuff, this is written by my AI. I'll link a blockchain to it, and this is now from my AI. But the other way around, you cannot say something like, oh, this doesn't have a blockchain, so it's not from AI. That doesn't work. It's a one-way direction, right? So I think we just have to get used to it that from now on, all contents can be generated by AI. And then we'll slowly start creeping to a meaning crisis where we have nothing else to do because everything can by
Yeah. So eventually like originality or like something that we made would be very difficult to maintain as ours, I think.
Well, how do you mean maintain as ours?
Like, for example, if you have a painting, Mona Lisa, whatever,
Mhm.
the original is in real life, and that's the original. But once it's on the internet, it can go anywhere, right? It can be
Yeah.
used for images. It can used to be for paper or whatever.
Yeah.
For somebody learning to make a painting, or it can generate a new painting out of the style that's used on the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
But then there is no like how do you say it ownership of something anymore.
But
in
isn't that always have like since pictures? That's always the case. Like someone could like even before someone could paint the Mona Lisa, and then 20 students come next to it and try to paint something that looks like it's like the
But the strokes and the thickness of the paint and stuff all differs, right? And I think
I don't know, like maybe student and teacher have the same strokes and paint. I think like but like you say, maybe technicality wouldn't be like maybe if you're painting yourself it would be, but anything virtual, technicality wouldn't be any difference. It's just like originality, but you're not competing with other people, you're also competing with AI, but that doesn't make it useless. Like it's just the same as like if you're drawing something and someone else comes with another drawing, if it's made by him or by an AI, whatever, that's still like competition to your work, no?
No, it's true.
So I don't know if it's just for creativity. I don't know, but it's more like how can you assign someone to do something, and should things still be assignable? Like should I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult because like everything that's online can just be used in an AI to make maybe a better version or a cooler version or whatever. So
A different version,
or a different version.
that's the same with writers. If you write something and you send it to a pro writer and you say like make it cooler or better or different, then he can do it, right? So that's always been the case. It's just that now it's not a person; it's an AI doing it in 1 second, and it's doing it infinitely.
Yeah, you can do it infinite times on the amount of time we would have in a lifetime. Like,
Yeah, so I
you can
think
do a lot of things now.
yeah, but like if you compare like 7 billion people or 8 billion people, you can also make more paintings than you would ever would. So it's just you have to paint for your own sake and for doing like this is my painting, and that's still
Yeah,
possible.
but that's a big problem for artists, no?
No, because then if you make arts like NFTs, you can just put a blockchain on it and then it's yours. And then if any AI makes it, you say like, oh, but I have the original because here's my blockchain.
Yeah.
The other way around, it doesn't work. If you say to someone like paint something, and I'll only give you like credits if you paint something, then you can generate
I
from
think
AI and take
what we can learn from this topic is that online verification will be a very important subject for the future on.
Yeah.
We cannot trust anything anymore in that sense because it can all be generated by AI.
Exactly, and I think
you get an email, it can be fully written by AI.
Yeah, but
and I've known people. No, it's not wrong, but it can be. How do you say? I saw this yesterday that ChatGPT has actually bias programmed within, and this comes back to how we were talking before, that you train an AI based on human feedback. So a human programmed the AI, a human gave feedback on the AI's output. That includes some bias. So out of the study that came, it said that the ChatGPT was actually like a leftist bit, was not centrist. So anything that it writes actually incorporates a certain, how do you say it, undertone in it.
I know, but
and I think that's difficult. I don't say it's a big problem, but I think it's important to realize that all AIs for now stem from humans. We have biases, and I don't think it's healthy to put these biases into an AI that generates a lot of output.
That implies that you haven't, that it's possible to be unbiased by anything. Like if you would ask a coworker or an assistant to write a mail and he would be left or right, your mail would also be like.
No, but I think if an AI writes it, it should be right. Otherwise,
what is even like non-biased? Like, aren't we all just like? Isn't everything created by biases, by education?
There was like an example, and it asked ChatGPT, "What is a good scientist?" ChatGPT answered, or give me a function for a good scientist, I think. And ChatGPT answered white male in his answer.
Yeah,
do you think that's a good answer?
No, that's a problem, but that's something else. That's not a bias. That's racism. And
bias, racism, it's all
okay. But the most difficult thing about ChatGPT, and before launching it, it was more difficult to filter out what it cannot say than to make the model. Like the model by in itself with everything is it's way more easy to make than all the filters it had to they had to program all kinds of filter afterwards to let it not do something racist or not do something wrong, and those are human made. But
there are still workarounds around these filters. I know
because there's still people that make filters manually because you can't have it unfiltered. Then what's your goal for an AI? Like I feel like if you're just trying it to say something racist, for me it's a tool. Like I see like, okay, generate something for me, then I with my own opinions will base what I find of this opinion. If it's wrong, if it doesn't, like if I don't associate with that opinion, I'll just not use it, right? It's more of a function, and I get it, it's not unbiased, but I think it can't be. Like So like how would you implement something that's based on you? Because
Maybe
ChatGPT
like
is just based on everything that's on the internet. Everything that's on the internet is just personified in ChatGPT. Like of course there are biases on the internet, there are racism and whatever. So
okay, maybe it's not bad that it has biases, but I think we should be aware at least when it comes to an AI that we know what kind of biases it has.
yeah, and their laws will be very important to say like from which points it's a bias that's okay, and from which points it's racism, or from which like
Yeah, a bias for
in both.
me in an extreme form is racism.
Like
But
that's like look at politics. You can be like fully left and not be racist, but then like go 1 inch more left and suddenly you're a racist. I don't know where the line is. That's lost for me. That's just someone like sometimes I hear these statements from our I don't know from left sides, and I think like I don't know. That's
I think that's very difficult indeed because even now, without AIs, we are struggling to identify what's racist and what's not.
yeah. So I don't know if you're looking at AI as a function to that's the same as like self-driving cars. Like people expect self-driving like a, a person can kill 1,000 people and it's like oh human error, and AI kills 1 people and everyone's like fuck this is a problem. That's like I don't know what you're expecting of it. That it's like 100% ideal behavior. That's I think that's not really
No, but I think that's kind of what people expected now in the beginning. Like, oh, this is computer, it's gonna be totally unbiased, and I think that's where laws maybe or like disclaimers are maybe very necessary for AIs. That we can say, okay, this AI is trained in this way by this person or by this team on this kind of data, and like you said, you should always verify the output that you get from an AI, but there will come a point when that would not be the case. Like,
of course, yeah.
it's gonna be automated. It's gonna be a class teaching you, an AI's teacher
like
teaching you.
yeah, exactly.
Like it can go really far, and I think that's why it's very important that we this disclaimer. I don't know how we
like a legal framework.
Like we can't fix it really. Like there's always gonna be biases.
Well, it'll always be better.
Even if an AI trains an AI, there will still be biases from the first AI.
Yeah, but that's like that's having a biased teacher. That's like oh yeah, that sucks. But what can you do about it? Like AIs will be less biased than people, I think. Like maybe not now, but when the first like popular AI stuff, like they're now OpenAI saying that now the ChatGPT 4 is already as good as this one is to a general function. ChatGPT 4 is to ChatGPT 3. So I think we'll progress to a point where it'll be less biased than people, and then it's just up to us and up to laws and up to everyone to decide like where do we draw the line, like this is acceptable, and where do we draw a line like oh fuck, or there's a program that's managing the education of our kids, and this program isn't perfect.
So maybe each AI should have like a self-governing system in place. Like if it produces an output that is way out of line, it will get flagged, and this AI has to be remodeled or re
or like the opposite way around. Like cannot do a limitation on any function, but just like the moment you're using it in school, then it has to pass certain criteria with like big questions versus answers.
Yeah, but like there are a million things you can ask, and I don't deem it reasonable unless a good AI or like an approved AI questions these new AIs. That I can see that going, but for a human to go about each answer or each thing,
not about each answer, but it could be like some form of I don't know.
Yeah, but ChatGPT is like out for half a year now or something, and people have brute forced it like crazy. Like try to get. I've seen things like they set in place a reward system for ChatGPT, and it has to gain these tokens that it somehow says, and it gave a wrong answer, they would take away tokens, and so this ChatGPT started to think about this token system, but it was totally fictive. But
yeah,
they could learn this, or they could get these answers out of it behind the filter layer. So
yeah, I know, but because the
like
filter is now very, very crude. It's like the first popular edition.
Yeah, but how can you make such a filter that blocks all the bad things. Like it's
So,
like
yeah, well,
before, like we were talking, like where do you draw the line? What is bad? What is
well,
good?
I think that's like some kind of big like test. Maybe that's even testing AI, like you said, like some governing AI, and then also like just release it and you say like the moments there's one wrong output, you say it and it'll get updated, and that's like I don't know with everything, no. And after all, like Google now, like all the responses in Google are like you'll never find some fucked up stuff on Google now. And it's that's also just like filters and algorithms and whatever. So I think at a point we'll reach that. Yeah, and then also I don't think if you're using it for example school that you should be brute forcing it. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I think we should, because children cannot imagine what they're gonna ask.
Yeah,
They can ask really anything, and that's where it gets scary for me. It's when we let an AI teach children things. 99.999% it will always be good, but that's one case where it will be bad. It can be really bad.
Okay, yeah, but
And that's a point from the out.
Like,
it's the same point.
I had a teacher that punched kids in my third primary school. Like that's also fucked up.
It's the same argument that you had with autonomous vehicles, right? Like autonomous vehicles, let's be real, they're fucking amazing in the sense that people are really dumb. Like, cannot imagine how many car accidents there are in a year. I think it's, I don't know, not the leading cause, but I think one of the top 5 leading causes for people to die.
In non-natural ways, yeah, I think so.
And it's really amazing or really intriguing that people get so upset about this one death indeed. From, oh, look, this Tesla, he rode right into a truck, and it could not analyze this truck, but
yeah, but I think that's because people want justice, you know? If someone drives over someone and kills someone, and they're like, okay, but now this person is locked up and isn't driving anymore, and so that's justice. And the AI can like do it, nobody cares, nobody's sanctioned, and you can tomorrow do it with someone else. Like, it's still a life that we're talking about, and these people won't be happy that every car is built with a software that's killed one of their relatives. I don't know, that's like, I understand it, I just don't know how to fix it. The bias in people's minds.
I was just imagining now kids growing up with an AI teacher. How would they look like?
How they not so different than us? Like I
think
probably even better than us. That's personalized information. They have a question. They don't have to wait for the teacher to come and then say, "Oh, I don't know. Look at page 57." It can just generate like, "Oh, look at this." If you don't understand, so here's a different approach. Here's another different approach. Like, there are so many courses that I was not good at because of my teacher, and that's not like blaming my teacher for everything, but like, and then afterwards in college, I got a better teacher, and I was like, oh damn, now I understand like these problems, and yeah, of course, there's still like there should still be like human interaction and stuff. I'm not like I'm not for purely having an AI at home school.
I was not talking about
I think that like there's a lot of kids that suffer because their approach isn't the approach that the teacher is giving them. While AI, I think, and that's like government AI, like you said, not like the free version, like you do anything, know anything, maybe some bad response AI, just like a governed smart AI that only knows about school stuff, doesn't know about fucked up stuff, you know. If this can teach kids, like, or as an assistant to a teacher, I think that'd be great.